Leo, who was there to give me the news, said, "Your mum is fine, Gary's fine." And I said, "Who's dead?" Clodagh travelled to school on her own. He travelled, as in Hawe, he travelled to school with the boys. So it wasn't possible in my head for them all to be dead.
Alan had murdered Clodagh, the three sons, Liam, Niall and Ryan. Were you made aware of this at the time?
No, not on the day. As everybody will know, that my mum, she travelled to the house on the morning of, because Clodagh was meant to drop the boys with her. And the note on the back door, put there by Alan Hawe, said, "Don't come in, call the Gardaí." So Mum knew it was his writing. She knew that something terrible had happened, but we didn't know that he had killed them all and then taken his own life.
Alan, I know, was buried with Clodagh and the boys. Later you had his body exhumed. The police investigation then got underway. How frustrating was that?
Hugely frustrating. Myself and my mum were nearly investigators ourselves. We would have the family liaison officer come. We would get certain information. Did we ask questions? Did we know what A, B or C meant? From his counsellor notes maybe, and then we would be trying to find answers. It was very much a coroner-led investigation, but the why in the investigation wasn't accounted for, but it was accounted for then in the inquest, with the state employing Harry Kennedy to give the why. He was dead, the perpetrator was dead, so there was nobody to trial, there was no perpetrator, so it wasn't a criminal investigation. And the rigour of a criminal investigation wasn't applied. So he was gone. He wasn't going to have to answer for what he did. So in the coroner's inquest, Professor Harry Kennedy diagnosed Alan Hawe with depression and with psychosis based on his murder letter and his counsellor notes. So when we asked questions in January 2019 and we were told it's done now, that's when we were forced to go public with Claire Byrne. That murder letter was full of lies, and it was, as Professor David Wilson says, has given in the Serious Crime Review, there was pseudo-altruistic comments in that he was leading people to believe certain things even when he knew that he wouldn't be around to answer for them.
Making people think he was doing...
He was caring. It was an act of mercy.
An act of mercy to do this, rather than his children and his wife to live in this world.
And they would have lived, and they would have had wonderful lives.